Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, within the mainstream music industry, recording artists have traditionally been dependent upon record labels to provide with funds, broaden their fan base, market their albums, and, be heard on radio somewhat and television. With times changing and technology developing, there have been an increasing number of artists who avoid costs and gain new audience via the internet. In other cases, artists go into recording deals without any knowledge and information of the agreement between the two parties. This morning, we discussed the relationship between recording companies and artists in modern day society and social media. Okay, so we've decided to invite to our discussion copyright lawyer Graham Kafilin, good friend of the show, and then the chairperson of the South African Music Awards and stable manager at Mabala Noise, Thobela Dlamini. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live. I think, Thobela, let me start with you. From a recording company's perspective, what are some of the common mistakes that you're finding artists are making, new artists?
I think the common mistake is that new artists, what they do now is that they just want to be famous.
Right.
So they just run into a record label and want to sign their lives off, signing whatever that they didn't read.
Yeah.
And it becomes a problem because when you now go into detail about what you've signed, that's why we pick up now to say that person wasn't actually ready to be an artist. You might find somebody wanting to be an artist only to find that the space he is in, it's not the right space. And you just sign, and then when we start to say, we're expecting 1, 2, 3 from you, dololo, nothing happens.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so you need to have a bit of education in terms of how then to school this artist from a development point of view to say, a contract, how does a contract work? And what type of contract do we have? Because today's contract and yesterday's contract, two different things.
Graham, let me bring you into this conversation. You've been in this industry for a while. You've dealt with copyright and you've dealt with artists. What are you seeing, the common mistake that artists and recording companies, because let's not, take them out of this discussion because they are in to make money as well. Let's just also agree that, they need to make money. But what are the common mistakes between the two parties?
Probably the biggest mistake is that there's no orientation. You're going to get into a long-term relationship. You're signing something in English or several documents. Your record company doesn't sit down and say, listen, this is what it's about. For instance, many artists think that record companies sell artists. They don't. Record companies sell records. In fact, record, just take your picture, do some interviews, go, go. If we don't sell records, we can't pay royalties. That's the currency of the relationship. Yeah. So people, there's no orientation. And added to what Thobela said, the issue of English, people don't read English. And English is a dangerous language.
But
dangerous.
Why do they then, recording companies, Thobela, make the language so complicated? I mean, I would just get in, and all I know is that I just want to sing. Why do then not recording companies make this language easier?
But it's not about making it easier.
Yeah.
Language is language.
Yeah.
A stone is a stone. If you don't understand what is a stone, you can't say a stone in 5 different ways.
Right.
Right. So it's not about the language being difficult.
What is it?
It's about looking before you leap, understanding what you're signing. It's a basic issue. Whichever way you go, you got to buy a car. You look before you sign. Secondly, artists don't think they need education and knowledge. You must have interviewed some artists sometime where you thought, dumb.
Ouch, that hurts.
Today's artist, you've got to be informed, on your toes, knowledgeable. The industry does not suffer fools.
How do we then make artists aware? How do we change the mindset? And it's not just with musicians. We see it with the creative industry that, it's just, I want to do my art, and what then happens to it is something else.
There are two things that we do. I will say one from a Mabala Noise point of view. What we do is, fortunate enough, he's our legal, advisor.
Right.
So what we normally do is we'll take our artist through what we call a workshop session. Before you sign, you need to go through that workshop session. You have to understand what you are signing. So that's a point of creating awareness. Page by page, he'll take them through for hours in terms of making sure that happens. What then happens from a RISA point of view, where I also take part, we'll then have workshops where we workshop development artists to say to them, guys, Don't think it's your cars, your iPads, your whatever it's there for you. No. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So we take them through workshops where we now invite different industry role players to say, what is Samro? What is Risa? But some people want to sing, they don't even know that they need to go and register their music. So you ought to know who is doing what, who's in this zoo. But it's a very big zoo.
Yeah.
It's got all different type of people that are playing different roles. So you gotta know, if I've got a problem with my songwriting, this is where I need to go. If I've got a problem with the producer, this
I
is
want
where
us
I
to
need
talk
go.
about the impact of social media after the break, and what that means for an artist to not go the traditional recording studio or recording company route, and the legalities of that. I want us to touch on that, but let's take a quick ad break. Or back after this, we're talking about the recording and the relationship between artists and recording companies, and the fine print. Actually reading what are you signing for as an artist. Hopefully, will enlighten a few artists out there.